into discussion without interruption. Without an eruption.
Thank you.
You had eruption in there, and then you got a third word that rhymes.
Eruption.
Oh, man.
If you have a question about what we're talking about, don't be afraid to ask. Someone in the chat will fill you in, or during pause, we may address it. We'll have questions at the very end of the show and go through notifications for all you guys who have been donating bits, whatever it is. I just realized something, too. Let me do this.
Check this out. So, What? Oh, this is weird. You flipped it?
Yeah, well, you're on the right side now.
Whoa, that is weird.
Yeah.
It's always been flipped the other way.
Was it?
That's trippy, yeah. Whoa, that's weird.
What?
Yeah, it was always the other way. Anyway,
Was
sorry,
it?
production stuff, a little behind the scenes. So for those of you who have seen the show before, or watched us last week or the week before, we had to do a handful of remote sessions.
Yes.
Because my wife, Elaine, had her show, so I had to make sure we take care of the pooch, right? So I had to be home. We did remote shows. We still had a lot of fun with everybody, but I'm actually still at home, and I'm just CGI'd into tonight's show, tonight's broadcast.
This is actually a past broadcast.
So Steve has some really excellent technology in his hands.
Yeah.
Whoa, it's like I'm really here. It's like I'm really here.
Look at that VR.
Super cool VR. Psych, I'm in the cockpit too. What's up, everybody?
He's really VR. Look how my hand passes right through him.
Whoa!
Whoa! Dude, if my hand went through, I would probably shit myself.
Yeah, right. That'd be terrifying.
Yeah, I'd probably... Oh, man. If I ever had that moment where, like, reality was just destroyed in front of me, I probably would be irrationally puking and passing out.
When your inevitable... virtual reality that you're in right now that's just so good because the technology is incredible, right? Okay, and then it breaks down finally, right?
Finally, yes.
And then
we're released from this fucking piece of shit meat bag I got, and then you just see the light projected into the actual world,
right?
And then Morpheus welcomes me in. And
Morpheus.
I've been making Matrix references all week at work, and nobody
as you should.
But like nobody gets it. Nobody gets it.
When's the next Matrix movie gonna come out?
Shut the fuck up.
Not, I don't mean like a sequel to the trilogy per se.
Okay.
The next generation's Matrix.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
I need something to fuck my shit up with science fiction. Because
we had Ex Machina.
Ex Machina was good,
Blade
but
Runner
this was like
2077.
Also really good, but just like a new, fresh ass story that just
you're talking about new science fiction. You're talking
breaks everything. You know what I mean? So hopefully that this new Dune movie does it. I'm not gonna talk about it.
I haven't seen Dune, so I'm excited to see the new one.
Oh, we could watch it.
We could watch it.
We could watch that. Matrix rebooted. They called it Reloaded, and it was stupid.
Garbage.
Man, it was
garbage, bro. It's a garbage movie.
Steve, how are you? Look at this. We're here in the studio, everyone.
Dude,
We're back on the show.
It's been, I don't know. It's been really
It's been a minute.
Yeah. Oh, hey, welcome in, everybody. Let's fucking do the intro.
Formal.
We're KonkyTalks 64. This is RtwoLeetwo.
Hey guys.
Yeah, we are doing the XP Talk Show. You may be familiar with it for your first time here. The reason why we call it the XP is because we share experiences on the show, whether they're educational, philosophical, life experience, whatever it is that expands our horizons, our minds, our perspectives. That's what we engage in. And the discussion ranges from anywhere to like, futuristic stuff to like stuff we grew up with. And in this episode, it's a little uncomfortable. So just as a heads up, like, if we say anything that offends you, just know that it is meant for discussion and it's not meant to be offensive in that sort of way. However, I will preface this, and I can speak on Lee's behalf. Lee is very strongly opposed to some of the things we may talk about, and I'm like in between. But we don't have a problem with any of these things.
We'll give the context, and I think like
there'll be context.
We're both respectful in the way. We'll get into it. We'll get into it, but we're both respectful.
It'll
in the way
be a
of, like,
respectful conversation. It's not going to be like a bashing of or whatever. It's
I mean,
more
like a lot of other episodes and shows that we've done in the past, like some of them kind of get a little edgy, get a little breaking boundaries and stuff like that. And we've talked about, like, kind of in passing what we're going to talk about primarily tonight.
Right.
So, like, this ain't going to be no different, baby.
No.
You know?
No, you guys are it's just a topic change, and that's it. You guys will know that, you know, we're doing all this stuff. But, welcome everybody. We do this show every week, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, Thursdays. You guys can follow us on Twitter to get updates on the show. If you look in the info panels, the schedule that is posted there, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday are the days that we stream. 7:30 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Any changes in that, just take a look on Twitter. You can DM me, all that stuff. And I've got some special guests lined up for the show. You guys were here yesterday for James. Next week we have Etwert, who is one of my favorite homies. We had another dead hero. Welcome in, dude. Good to see you, Caleb, on the show on Monday. It's been a fucking awesome ride getting everybody in here and having you guys share your life experience with us. And man, I can't wait for like all these future guests and shit. It's
dude,
great.
this show can only go up from here. Because we've been at the bottom of the barrel.
Oh.
Primarily when we started this show.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It was like, this would be fun.
Yeah.
You know, you and I were working together, and we were just like, we talk a lot about really, you know, silly shit all the time. And we get really hyped and really passionate and really just engaging and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that on the internet?
Yeah.
That's kind of how we started it.
It was
and
weird,
it was,
yeah.
You know, from like a production standpoint, it was just like,
why are you eating tacos?
Yeah, we did the one infamous show.
Camera
I'm really
pointed
hoping,
down.
I'm really hoping that show's still up somewhere.
I think
right?
so.
So like one of the very
past
first
broadcasts
shows
are kept for a long time.
Yeah, so it was an eating show, and we were like,
we didn't even plan for that. We were like, they got social eating on here.
Yeah, it was, and we named it "Let's Taco About It."
Yeah,
and we just ate tacos and realized. Very quiet and uncomfortable when you're watching someone eat.
The best part of that episode, though, I need to go back and clip it. We both eat a taco that we both got specifically because it sounded good at the same time, and we harmoniously went, like, it was like,
Dude, we had that hive mind was like next level.
We do that
just
all
like
the time,
eating those
though.
tacos.
Dude, okay, eating with this man is like my religious experience, okay? Like, we'll have like, right? Coal-fired pizza, bro, every time.
Oh, dude.
It's just we lock eyes and we just know that our pizza soul bond is happening. That's what I would call it.
Okay, let's try to like recreate it. Okay, we're gonna bridge these hive minds.
Pizza's right here.
Slice of pizza.
It folds right.
Okay, folded slice of pizza, really good.
Right. I don't want to drop the cheese.
You know, let it fold over. That's kind of it. I mean, it's not. I mean, when we put ourselves on the spot, that doesn't really work as much. But like when we're in the
Totoro.
moment,
You caught it.
Wow. That's a good snag from all the way over there.
God damn, you can't even see it because of how high the reflection is.
Freaking out.
But
yeah, that's eating with this boy. Man.
You guys ask how we're doing. That's how we start every show.
Hell yeah!
Thank you for segueing us.
Those past times that we weren't hanging out and talking with each other. Past week and stuff like that. You know?
While we're doing that, I really honestly would appreciate if you guys could help spread the word on the show. It helps us tremendously, bringing more people in. If you want to create your own tweet about it, totally fine. You don't need to just retweet. If you'd rather be like, I like the show, and then like link and do whatever you want to, please, check do it your own way. I also have like a templated one if you want to like tweet from your thing linking to the channel. It just tells everybody you're hanging with a bunch of hunks.
Dude, the internet's a magical place. And, excuse me. There are so many things one can do with an internet show. It's magical. And especially, too, like, every single week. For those that hang out all the time, Joe Bash, Schmo, you name a few more.
Urbanoid.
Those, like, everybody that hangs out with us,
Misty
like, a majority
Red.
of the time, like... My gosh, you guys are beautiful human beings for just kicking it with us. We're just
Joe, dude,
we're
Chief
hanging out.
Hong Kong's in here all the time.
As much as we like imagine we are in the room, we're not obviously physically in the room with you, but just like we are virtually in this same room having these kinds of discussions, and like we wish you guys were right on here, sitting on our laps.
Jay Newton, welcome in.
Right, sitting on our sweet warm laps.
Yeah, our sweet warm Papa laps. Oh, by the way, dude. Okay, so can I start off talking about my week?
Dude, hell yeah, go right. We go into this just to show our last week, just to catch you guys up on
Codename
the
Lucas.
of our
What's
lives.
up, dude?
Give you guys a little peek behind the curtain.
Okay, so we're talking about my past week, all right? I'm doing great, okay? I was a little bit sleepy, but after having some food in me, I'm feeling it.
I was just gonna say, I
perked up a little bit.
Like maybe 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You were at about a 20%.
Yeah, now I'm at like a 69%.
There you go. It's 69.
Yeah.
Sick, dude.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, dude.
Let's get that 69 to a 70. Hell yeah.
Dude, our past weeks, let's talk about them. This past week, there wasn't actually like a whole... I did a fuckload of things on the weekend. That's what it felt like, because I was working on Saturday, so I could have Friday off. So I watched a lot of movies.
Hell yeah, dude. Catch up on those movies.
I watched Isle of Dogs.
Great.
Fucking sick.
So great.
That was a great movie. Super simple plot, but like just really... I don't know, it was good.
Those
I don't know
Wes
how to explain it.
Anderson
How did
movies.
you make a Wes Anderson film?
Yeah.
Like cinematography wise into a stop motion film. They
did that with Mr. something, Mr.
Fox.
Mr. Fox. The
Which I did
Fantastic
not
Mr.
see.
Fox, yes.
I did not see.
So there was kind of the same vibe of like
Okay.
the anime, like the
would you guys
motion
recommend
capture.
Fantastic Mr. Fox? Because I would check it out.
I'd watch it.
Kubo and the Two Strings is fucking
Woo!
amazing.
Hell yeah, dude.
But okay, so I watched that. I watched Hereditary. Did you see it?
Do tell. I feel like I know.
It's a horror movie, more like a psychological horror movie by the director from The Conjuring 1 and 2.
Yes.
It was good. I wasn't like, I don't know. It was just extremely unsettling the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And this is all like
I don't know.
This is all on your new television, is it not?
No, this is right here because I had to work.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, so I haven't been watching anything on there. Can you guys tell me? I didn't have my headphones in. Are notifications playing right now?
Are you guys hearing it?
Before
Thank
we
you for the
continue.
100 bits. My goodness, that's so lovely.
You're from Turkey.
Misty.
Welcome in. No audio. Fuck yeah. Okay. If you guys again, if you see anybody coming in here, I really appreciate you guys letting them know what's going on. Right now, we're just recapping our past weekend. Jay Newton, we'll get into that. I promise. And then we can start bouncing off ideas. There was a recent study done about this, so it's going to be interesting. And I know it could be uncomfortable for some people, but it's always interesting to talk about this stuff.
Sometimes you just got to get uncomfortable, get comfortable, baby.
Well, when you're too comfortable, you could say you're not growing.
Hell yeah, shake that shit up.
Yeah.
Last week.
Yeah, baby.
Movie
Last
talking.
week.
Can I mention one quick thing?
Yes.
One quick little side tangent.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to keep this contained, and I promise you. So.
Okay. See you, Jay.
Okay. Well, that was really weird. Interesting. The movie watching experience at home.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like I overdo it in the sense of you've seen my setup at home, like where I have to watch.
It's a fucking
movies.
Space
Yeah, I have to watch movies like giant screen. I can't watch them too much in the dark because Elaine falls asleep. I would prefer it surround sound and like the whole deal.
You got an immersive
watching movies and stuff. Oh yeah,
experience.
I
the
love
surround sound
that.
Is dope, dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love immersive experiences.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my contained little thing. That's
Okay. What else did I watch? Okay, so Hereditary. That I watched.
It was just
quite a bit of Futurama, like quite a bit, like a lot of Futurama. I'm rewatching it right now because I do it every year.
Love it.
All right, Newton. If you can't hang around, dude, it's totally fine.
Yeah, this is for those of you again that just joined us.
The way we do the show, when we start off, is like me and Lee physically haven't been near each other in a long time, and we're actual friends. We're not just like
look at this dude.
We're actual friends.
You're gonna walk away from this?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Wait, hold on. Let me do a zoom in for this.
Dude, zoom in. Look at this. I'll get down a little bit.
Wait.
Clip it.
I respect the beard. Okay, good. Well, fuck. What about the mustache, dude? Come on, man.
That's a powerful
Chuck Full, good to
stash.
see you. Okay, so I watched some movies, And then Sunday, what the fuck? Like,
I'll tell you what Sunday was.
What was Sunday?
St. Patty's Day.
Oh, I did nothing.
Oh gosh.
I didn't even drink.
What kind of Irishman are you?
Oh, I know what I did. I was organizing the Lost in the Sauce team's game day.
Sick.
So I got to play Sea of Thieves for the first time.
What'd you think?
I like that game a lot.
Nice.
I didn't think I would, but
Nice.
a lot of it comes from just doing the shenanigans of the game, because like in-game audio is really funny. They have these megaphones you can use, and like in-game it sounds like you're using a megaphone. So I was just like at the end of the ship going, wow! Oh wow! Like just like doing stupid shit, and people were like, "What is wrong with this guy?"
Yeah, I can't imagine like jumping into that and just being like, "What is this kid doing?"
Yeah, because people can like attack you, and the whole time I'm at like the bow of the ship, just like,
you
are bad.
Do you control what you say?
Yeah, I'm saying everythphone. Like
wait, so your
microphone.
microphone.
My microphone goes into in-game play.
Audio?
Yeah, and then the megaphone adds the filter of being in a megaphone, and depending on how far away you are, it's also farther away. So like
That's
I'll be on the
sick,
island,
dude.
and I'll be like,
"Oh, that's sick."
Like just doing that shit, and then like I'll hear my friends on the boat, and they'll be like,
you can hear other players. Oh, that's so cool.
It's all proximity.
Really cool.
It's really funny.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed the shenanigans of that.
Talk about an immersive experience.
Yeah, I think you would really like it. It seems really complex, but it's a simple game.
I've watched a couple people play it.
It's really casual. It's not like super hardcore.
Okay.
But I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I got to play with a few people.
I love it.
What else?
Pirate.
That's it, man. I worked through the entire weekend, but like, my highlight was yesterday. So not yesterday. Oh no, I totally forgot.
Today's Thursday.
Today's Thursday. So
yesterday was Wednesday.
Yesterday I talked with James.
Sick. Yeah, you had
my
the show
brother.
With James. Yeah.
We did the XP Talk Show. Where
brother from other mother.
Yes, mothers, two moms. Dude, it was really cool. He talked about his life growing up. Me and him had like similar stories about being bullied, and he shared a layer of himself that he didn't do before. And
really, with you or on stream?
With me,
really
on stream.
Whoa.
So like, he never really went in depth with like what he was dealing with outside of like our group of friends, or when I really got to know him. It was more of like this past thing, but recently, because of some stuff that happened like on the show and he was watching. So Kate, do you remember Kate Bit?
Yeah.
So Kate Bit was on the show last Wednesday, and she shared about, shared her life with like growing up with a stutter, and like how she got bullied and the effects of that and how it affected her life, sort of thing. And she when she approached me, we talked a little bit about how like she didn't have like a science background. So she was like, why do you want to talk to me? And like all this other stuff. Because like I don't have anything to bring to the table.
Right.
And then naturally, when we just start talking, things come up.
Yeah.
You know how I fucking am. Like, dude, I'm always curious about.
This show is therapeutic.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and it's not even therapeutic. Like I'm not therapy man. I'm not a professional fucking scientist or anything. I just like talking with people. I'm fascinated by human behavior. I'm fascinated by my own behavior, and in the discovery of that, I feel like I'm closer to the people that I surround myself with. So James had seen that on display, and then approached me and was like, "Yo, dude, I would love to do the show with you, because I never really had I never really had a forum to really talk about this sort of stuff."
I love that.
And he was like, I was worried that I wasn't smart or quote unquote scientific enough to be on the show. And I was like, dude, it started off like that, but now it's about sharing experiences. And then the science stuff comes specifically from this portion of the experience.
Right? You kind of like, you get to the point where you're thinking about just your experiences, and then you start to think scientifically about the discussion in a way,
right?
And it's like,
it's really cool to get those when you see people's, and you and me do this all the time, where you'll be talking to somebody like, "See, man," Lee says that to me all the time, and you just see the gears click into place and everything starts going. They're just like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, you're just like, yeah.
Like the self-realization of like how that stuff is happening,
and it's like, what? Sorry to cut you off, but
no, go ahead.
The element that makes me most happy, like that about that stuff, where you're just like, you see,
yeah,
it's totally more of just like that bridge between two minds of better understanding between two human beings, where it's just like if you can articulate what you're thinking, whether it is scientifically or mentally or anything, no matter who you're talking to, you're building that bridge between two minds, like in the sense of like that kind of connectivity.
Yeah, and you
so
find
it's, like,
this
really cool.
You build this common ground together, and it's like, oh, we're not so fucking different.
Yeah,
so that's been like the cool thing about all this.
Trying to connect it to something where it's just like, I can't specifically, but it's like, everyone's had that kind of discussion where it's like you are talking with somebody, complete stranger, or you barely know them, and then you have that yeah man moment, that kind of like where I know what you're talking about, and there's there's that perfect connection where it's like if you just try to live your life to do that as much as you can, even with strangers, like it's a magical feeling.
Yes.
And that's what this show really tries to be about, where it's like no matter who we're talking to or who or whatever it is, it's like no matter who wants to be a part of the show or be interviewed or something like that, it's not about the scientific part of it. We love our science, don't get us wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? We love talking about it, we're inspired by it, it's surrounded by us and all that kind of stuff, but it's not supposed to just be there,
Correct.
It's like we talk about human experience. It's called the EXP for a fucking reason, know? So it's
the
like
experience.
Get your ish together.
Yeah.
Peoples.
But that's been really cool.
Sick,
so like I'm super fucking excited to have more people on, because like this is where, and I don't know, I think it was just because it's not that this was getting tiring, but it was the same form of stimulation, and you know how our fucking brains work.
We gotta have it all the time.
Yeah, so we have ADHD. I don't know if you guys can tell.
Ooh, I got another side tangent.
Hands. See? Fucking right on top
side
of
tangent, dude.
Do you want to take it away right now?
Real quick. So, because we talk about this all the time. So, ADD versus ADHD.
They're the same.
Let me talk about it for a second.
Yeah.
So, because I normally thought the same thing too, but I read like an article about a doctor who has ADD and has dyslexia.
Oh,
and really just kind of laid it all out about the in-depth ideas of ADD and ADHD. So ADD, attention deficit disorder, and ADHD is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
Right. So
the hyperactivity element of that is, at least the way that I perceived it, people still think it's the same, which is totally cool. Mm-hmm. But the hyperactivity is like the jitteriness, the kind of like I gotta always keep moving, and I gotta
gotcha,
that kind of thing, where like that could be different for different people.
Yeah. Well, there's a spectrum to it, right?
There totally is a spectrum, but I guess just more of a definition for you and I in that sense. So I just want to make it easier on people and just be like, I've got ADD. Sure.
Well,
as opposed to
I think I need to look more into it.
Yeah.
You probably know more than me, because when I looked into it, they had grouped ADD and ADHD together because the height from what I remember, and I'm maybe misquoting again, like not a fucking expert. Okay?
Yeah, we're not.
But ADHD also helps contribute to hyper focusing. So like when we
ADD
have
too.
Right. That's why.
That's the
like
melding. Yeah.
Bridged together. Yeah. So it was like ADHD and ADD. Like they are now both ADHD, because you have ADD, you still have moments of like hyper focus or hyperactivity or whatever it is. Moments, but it's not like all the fucking time uncontrollable shit.
Yeah. It was just that like hyper.
But I gotta read more. I haven't like looked at anything.
I had that same mindset, and I just saw this guy's one article, and I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense, because that's like within kids, for example, like you can tell when a kid is hyperactive.
True. Yeah.
Right. Hyperactive and has ADD. Right. Whereas more in adults, if you will, is more of the ADD side, where it's not quite as hyperactive.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like you don't see us both kind of sitting around jittering all the time. Gotta keep moving. Gotta keep doing stuff. Yeah. But it's more in here. It's more in the mental side of it.
Gotcha.
So it was kind of a cool thing that I just like.
Okay.
Because I hated saying like ADHD, like kind of just being that slash, kind of thing. So
I just did the blanket.
Yeah.
ADD's easier to say though.
Right. That's also another reson why I did it. Right. Yeah. So side tangent closed.
It's okay. Closed.
Sorry. Last week still. Yeah.
I'm done.
Talking about your show, I'm so happy.
I'm just excited about everybody coming. Like,
dude,
I had somebody who I just put out a tweet, and I was like, these are some people that I would like to talk to.
Cool.
And I had a few of them just reach out to me recently, because they were like, hey, dude, you mentioned me in this tweet like a while ago, and I wanted you to know I'm interested. I'm like, fuck yeah, okay, cool. You know, I was planning to DM you eventually, but
and it's so easy, dude.
Yeah.
Like the way, especially the way that you set this up.
From Canada, you know,
the way that you set this up, especially like for our remote shows and everything, it's so simple. For like no matter where you are, like a lot of people would do like Skype calls in just so you get the audio, but it's just like, dude, fuck it. Like if you got two,
I can do some really funny shit too. Like yesterday with James, we were doing a comedic thing where like I had a scene called James Lap. And I was green screen and he wasn't, and so he was telling a story and I turn around like this and I shrunk my screen down, and so it looked like I was sitting on his lap while he's like telling stories and he's like looking down at me and shit.
That's hilarious, dude. Oh my god.
Like I love doing stuff like that. So
the magic of the interwebs.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Like anytime we do something like the XP Talk Show, it doesn't need to be the same vibe or whatever. Some people want to use it to talk or like use it as like a therapy thing or whatever. Some people want to have scientific discussions. Other people want to do like just funny shit, and I'm down to do whatever because that's the whole thing. But Lee,
get tuned in for that stuff.
Your fucking week.
I'll tell you about my.
Tell me about it.
So my last week was great.
Hell yeah.
You know, it was great. So slight little little peek thing.
Okay.
Third interview.
Third interview, boys. Can we get some energy?
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
Can everybody just raise their hands and contribute energy?
Trying to keep it like on the DL a little bit. Shouldn't say it on the internet, but that's okay. But that is very, very exciting. Big things for me. Big things. Over the weekend, so Saturday, I had my sweet Pat Dowell, right? And my other buddy Adam, so two high school friends. Pat is my oldest friend ever. Been friends with him since 7th grade. And he's getting his mental stuff together. He is like really, he was down in the slums for a little while, just mentally,
he's picking himself back up.
He's absolutely picking himself back up. So he's being more active,
never
hanging out more.
Too late.
Never too late ever. Always pick yourself back up no matter what situation you in. So so Pat came over and my other buddy Adam.
And ask for help, goddammit.
If you need it. Talk about it. And they came over like mid Saturday afternoon. Brought his NES, his SNES over, his Sega console.
Hell yeah.
Threw up a couple TVs.
Did you guys sit on the floor?
Nah. I know we missed that part.
No, I'm just kidding.
We missed that part, but got a case of brews.
Hell yeah.
Got some chips, sticks. Got
big
some
boy
snacks.
Fucking hangout stuff.
My wife was there, and she was overwhelmed.
I bet.
Because she was just like, she was sitting there, no interest whatsoever in video games, like really nothing. Didn't grow up with them and all that kind of stuff, right? So we're sitting there like making sure all the plugs are in and like, putting the TVs together and like, screwing in the coax connection to get your fucking Sega to work and like, and it was just like nostalgia written all over everything, right? So they were playing
You're accessing synapses you haven't used in a long time.
It was perfect, right? Yeah. So, and this was like mid-Saturday afternoon. Sunshine in the windows, and it was drinking beer in the afternoon. It was great.
Bono was right. It was a beautiful day on Saturday, and it was great.
You had to go and ruin it, didn't you?
What? What do you mean?
There will be no mention of you two on this show ever again. Okay? I'm going to put my foot down there.
No promises, bro.
Bono or you two out. We were playing NBA Jam.
Hell yeah.
We were playing Super Star
Wars.
On fire! He's on fire! Yeah, it's awesome. And did you ever play King of the Monsters 1 or 2?
Nope.
Dude, like it just
I know it's
a
Godzilla game.
Shit. Yeah, well it's like
is it
not
just
quite.
The one where
it's
they're walking forward, or is it a fighting game?
It's a two fighting kind of boxing
was it on
style.
Sega?
It was on SNES.
Oh no, I never
It's like
played
a two-player boxing style. They had a second one that sucked. Anyway, did that, played Sonic. Like it was just all day, right?
Awesome.
Had a blast. Then went out to our local Bob Inn. Had like a sweet little dive bar. It was the day before St. Patrick's Day, so people were out. Went over to Logan Arcade, played some arcade. It was just like,
good times.
Good times, right? So did that, came home, Sunday went to work. Elaine made her own corned beef and cabbage.
Ooh, baby.
Woo!
Was it
good? It was... So like homemade corned beef and cabbage. So homemade corned beef and cabbage, carrots, potatoes, the whole deal. And she made a Guinness cake.
Whoa.
She made a cake with Guinness. That was unreal.
Hell yeah.
And sipping Irish whiskey. Like, it was just like getting back to them roots. You know what I mean? And what was cool is that, so I did the 23andMe thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you this really.
You did.
So I did the 23andMe.
Remind the people.
So 23andMe, it's the DNA testing and ancestry stuff, right?
It's you do a spit
spin
swab.
the tube.
Yeah,
and
you spin a tube, you send it to the FBI.
And then you're on the fucking watch list forever.
And they advertise to every ancestor going forward born.
I ain't got nothing to hide.
It's in the TOS.
Yikes. Terms of service, I get it.
Baby's born, you get like a fucking... You've got great credit scores.
What if they are just like, they're just breeding a bunch of fucking baby test tube babies
suck,
with the DNA?
Dude.
Anyway, so like...
dude, they could, that's kind of nuts.
So here's my quick thought. Because I've said this before. Here's my quick thought.
Yeah.
I know it's scary.
Yeah,
the level of science that we don't know.
I didn't go to that level, bro. I didn't even like think about cloning yourself. I was just like, they got your spit, bro. But like for real, they could.
But they could. Yeah, sure. Who cares?
We just watched a 28,000-year-old cell be revitalized.
Yes,
tell me that
was one of the articles in the Discord. Yeah. But it's like, so here's my thing. Because I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding like the 23andMe and the ancestors. You got your one of like Elaine's like paranoid conservative brother-in-laws is just like, I don't do those things because the government's gonna have your DNA, and I'm just like, go ahead, be scared, man. I don't care. I did it because I want to get to know who I am a little more.
Yeah.
Be connected to my heritage a little more, and it's just like, and that's why I did it. Right?
Makes sense. Yeah.
So it was great, and I enjoyed it. So. But like what they did, so I didn't realize. So I got it back a little while ago, but they update it as it comes along, as their data, gets bigger and bigger.
Like they get better testing equipment.
Well, there's just more details and stuff like that. So
gotcha.
and so what I was finding out is more specific regions of where my DNA is tied to.
Okay.
Right. So it went back to like London and England, surprisingly enough. Was a majority of it, and Ireland, right?
Nice.
So I'm just getting back to those awesome roots, being,
understanding
that
yourself,
understanding yourself, right? And it's just like, it's fascinating, it's interesting because you're like finding out about the history of your bloodline and like, and then just knowing where you came from, yeah. And especially too, I realized, I came from those like Nordic kind of cold climate areas.
Yeah,
that's in my DNA.
So he's so hot all the time.
I run warm all the time.
He's a sweaty boy.
I'm a sweaty boy. Right? It's because those goddamn,
Wait, why did the 23andMe thing come up? Was it St. Patrick's Day?
Because of St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
That was my link, was like, it's St. Patrick's Day,
and
I was like connecting to my like Irish roots and stuff. Yeah. So I didn't get to wear my my like real like Irish wool sweater though that I got in Ireland.
Yeah.
I was like hoping we could wear them somewhere, but I ended up not doing it.
Maybe if you sat outside the whole day.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. And here's another thing, real quick, right? So every single year, I like, it happens every single year. St. Patrick's Day or around it always gets sunny and starts getting nicer. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Like, it's something about the St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Like, global warming.
It's just global warming, dude.
But
maybe
for real,
it's like
it's about time for spring.
It totally is, and so it just like it's.
I'm hoping all this rain is like early April showers, and then we're just like sun.
Dude, it's like, and I would take the rain, but sunshine and 60s anytime.
Hell yeah.
So it's like, that's another like kind of comforting, positive vibe. It's just like that the weather that affects your mood is getting better too.
Yes.
So like,
side note, due to an updated long-term study, if you're having seasonal depression, supplementing with vitamin D helps a great deal.
You can get like vitamin D at like Target, and they're tiny little pills.
Yeah, or on Amazon. Use our Amazon link. It's over there.
Shameless plug. You see that? You guys see that?
Or get it from Onnit.com. Exclamation point on it.
Took my Alpha Brain.
I got some free stuff.
Alpha Brain.
Got some free stuff from them.
So I did not look at my shitty ratty bottle. I didn't get it. But so that was cool. Yesterday was like one of those days I had the day off.
Yeah.
Just like you felt active as fuck.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You got shit done.
Dude, tell me about it.
Love that.
Oh, I didn't touch on this during the week, but I set a goal of being active every single day, regardless of like what it is.
Ooh.
So it's just like, okay, well, we're not gonna go hard today. We're gonna do yoga. Okay, all right, cool.
Sorry, I didn't want to do yoga tonight too.
Dude, don't worry about it. I did it.
I felt like I didn't want to be like a sweaty boy.
You actually don't get sweaty. Not with this. 30 minutes, just stretching.
Have we talked?
Yeah.
About how much of a sweaty boy I get.
We did.
So when I move at all,
yes,
I get sweaty.
He gets sweaty, yes.
But Yeah, so like yesterday, dude, I got like
Thanks, Joe.
Went through my clothes and stuff. What is Joe doing?
You got Alpha Brain
oh,
too.
Baby.
Dude,
yes,
I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, try it out. Tell us how you think. Because like I took mine today, and if I come up with really wacky words or like feel like my sentences are structured, it truly was the shit that's making my brain connect.
I got 4 left.
Dude, I fucking went balls deep. I got the 90 count.
Did you get 3?
I just got the 1.
Have you done 3 yet?
I have that one time.
Did you try 4?
No. That's next level stuff.
Okay,
but,
4 is pretty dope. I will say,
good, sustainable. Like your brain is.
4 is flow state. Flow state. That's what it felt like. That was my first day back streaming after I was sick.
I might try.
I was like, I'm gonna take 4 Alpha Brain, have a cup of coffee, and then I was up for like 9 hours.
It's the cup of coffee.
The cup of coffee was probably aiding in that, but I do really think it was the Alpha Brain because I wasn't like. There was not a single point where I felt I was engaged, and I clearly remember being like, yeah, I think I'm done. Like, I was about 8.5, 9 hours in, and I was like, yeah, man, I know I'm done now. Like, this is,
like,
I
you
just
say
noticed.
nothing, you say nothing, and then you just, like, end stream, and then just, like...
Well, no, it wasn't that, but it was just, I distinctly remember playing, and then just self-recognizing that I had stopped being engaged with what I was doing, and it happened within, like, a minute. It's not like I streamed for 30 minutes or tried to keep going. It was like, yeah, I think I'm done. Like, I think I'm done now, you know?
Love that switch, dude.
Yeah, and then I just found somebody in Raid. But,
so cool, dude. Yeah.
Just really quick plug for Onnit. I only sponsor I only work with companies that I truly and deeply care about. I've been using Onnit products for a long time. They call it a human optimization website for a reason. They want you to function better. And if you don't want to spend money, you don't have to. They've got free articles about diet, workouts, whatever you're looking for. And if you want to swing a big mace around or some
Star Wars
kettlebells,
yeah, fuck,
you can do it. They got it all on there, and I'd appreciate it if you use the link. And if you're writing reviews for the stuff you're using, just be like, KonkyDong sent you. All right, twitch.tv/KonkyDong64.
Quick thing to schmo. Just a quick tip. Because we've talked about this before. So this Alpha Brain stuff, I took it like a while ago.
Yes.
But that was before I knew how my brain functions.
True.
Right? Because we talked about this. Because like I only know.
Remind the people, because we
like,
have some new people who haven't heard about this
a lot
before.
of these like and like I was always a skeptic of like these kinds of supplements.
Yes.
Because I was like, what? It's a placebo, dude.
And
it's a total placebo.
And the terminology for these supplements, they're called nootropics. They're like it's brain pills. As a heads up too, it is expensive, but you're not supposed to take it every day.
Right.
It's not an everyday thing.
It says that you should, but I now only take it when I need it.
Right.
In the sense of like, I'm gonna need to talk for 2 hours on a podcast.
I remember your first bottle, you were like, dude, I'm already out. I'm like, did you take it every day? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, no, dude. It doesn't keep the thing about it is that it's temporary. So like if you're groggy as hell in the morning, or like the days I take it is when I'm like, when I eat shitty the day before. I'm like, I just pounded half a pizza. I know tomorrow I'm gonna be like,
Garf. Yeah. I'm usually just like,
but
I
at
need
least
to
I
use
can
my
be like,
brain. Yeah.
Oh, I can talk to you complete sentences and pull
for like those interviews that I had and stuff like that. I did it. So, but yeah, Joe. So know your brain, know how it acted, like it works in the sense of like the way that you speak and the way that you construct sentences and words and stuff like that. If you have a good mindset of that going into it, whew, you will know.
And if you don't, if you feel like these things aren't doing anything for you, you can contact customer support and they will refund you as long as it's within 14 days.
Within 14 days?
He was about to go into that Alpha Brain. They did placebo tested study or controlled studies, and they did prove that it does help with memory and focus. So you can read all of that within the.
It's great.
Thing.
It's great. Yeah. Shameless plug.
Let's get into the topics.
Let's just get it. I know
we talked a long time, and I feel like we've been doing a commercial for a little bit longer than we should be.
But yeah, that's just kind of how we like to get things started. So it warms us up into conversation a little bit because we talk about our weeks.
Ourselves, like literally when he comes here, if we start talking about our days or how we feel about something, it's like, dude, just save it for the show.
Yeah, because we're just like, we got to talk about it on the show, right?
So we got an interesting topic for you guys tonight. Oh, yeah. It's a little bit more controversial, taboo, mostly because it could offend some people. So I don't want you guys to think about this as like we're doing this to offend anybody. It's just a really interesting concept. And it has to do with a recent study that was published explaining that religion of all kinds usually occurred when populations hit to about 1 million. There's a lot of really cool podcasts and stuff out there that are available for people to listen to, watch, that kind of do this stuff. But this is the first study that we've seen in a while, I guess, that has been published. So if you guys want to check it out, it's actually in our Discord. If you guys want to participate in the show, you guys can submit scientific articles, all that fun stuff on the Discord. You guys, at any point, if you want to participate in the talk show, we have a section where you request you'd like to be a talk show homie, and then you'll be able to see everything from the XP. So this article was published on livescience.com. This is the...
You guys typed in Discord at the same time.
Get wrecked, nerd.
You big
no,
goose.
I'm just kidding.
Just kidding.
I actually should let Joe do it, just because
Joe, you're a sweet beast.
He's active as fuck. Thank you, man.
You're just a beastie beast.
So this is on livescience.com. The title of this article is "When Ancient Societies Hit 1 Million People, Vengeful Gods Appeared."
Context. Let's rip this apart here.
Yes.
Because that's a very bold, intro statement. So I think I'm excited to kind of dive into this, because this is something that I have been passionate about for a number of years. Religion in general, and especially being able to just see more people talking about this idea is very fascinating.
Agreed.
Yeah.
This was
So to give people a slight bit of context, and I don't want Steve to go into the details from this article, but so basically it's getting to this point where gods and religions became the explanation for people's surroundings, and so especially when the populations grew. So it's when it got bigger and bigger and bigger, there were
leaders
leaders that had to get to a point where they're just we have to control this population somehow,
and you can't police everybody,
right? So you have to kind of put this thing in their mind to be
so how do you inject a moral code into society? And so the thought process behind this, the basic watered down version of this, is religion essentially based on these studies, and the studies were published on March 20th. So literally yesterday.
This is newsy stuff.
It's brand new. It's on. It was actually published in Nature, so I'm gonna go off the original article.
Yeah. Always check them sources. We always like to do our best to make sure we're checking our sources. If we see an article and then it's on some non-credible source, then we'll make sure that we dive to either disprove that or prove that. So we'll really try to do our best to kind of find the right resources and everything. So Live Science, at least historically in our minds, is a pretty decent resource, but it wouldn't hurt to go into the study from the university that it was a part of, or the scientific.
And this was originally published on Nature.com, which is the International Journal of Science. So
it's a pretty
reputable
Nature.
In general. But so the article I'm reading is on the it's more of a synopsis of what they found. It's a little bit more.
It's obviously not an easy thing to just be able to,
It's a lot more interesting to read than the actual scientific stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna start reading, not the whole thing. So, for we know him who said, "And I will execute great vengeance upon them with furious rebukes. And they shall know that I am the Lord, when I shall lay my vengeance upon thee." Ezekiel 25:17, aka another great line from Pulp Fiction.
Because that's where we all know it from.
That's where I know it from.
Not from the Bible, from Pulp Fiction.
The God depicted in the Old Testament may sometimes seem wrathful, and in that he's not alone. Supernatural forces that punish evil play a central role in many modern religions. A new study from Nature.com suggests that the formation of complex societies came first, and that the beliefs in such gods helped unite people under a common higher power. And I think that's actually a really good point, because when we have a common enemy or something that we don't like together, there's a lot of power in that. There's a lot of activism in that. We're seeing that with our current president. We're seeing that with people in power that we don't respect. There's a lot of that coming from it, and I mean, religion kind of has a
like your reasoning for doing what you do based off of your religious beliefs surpasses like anything else in your life. Like that is always like the top of everything that you're doing.
Yeah, it's we'll get extremely close to your identity as well.
Yeah, it is your identity.
Yeah,
like,
it is your identity.
For a lot of people, cases, it really is just your identity. So I think it's very fascinating.
So, continuing. Ancient societies often used supernatural forces to explain natural phenomena, such as lightning. But in the past several millennia, religions also used supernatural forces to enforce moral codes. For example, the Egyptian sun god Ra judged the fate of people in the afterlife according to how well they followed the code of Mat, or what is right, translated. Past work suggested that the rise of this idea of cosmic enforcement of morality was associated with social complexity. The concept of supernatural judgment evolved to help strangers in large societies cooperate, Sorry, that sentence was meant to stop. The concept of supernatural judgment evolved to help strangers in large societies cooperate. Some work, such as analysis of Austronesian religions or of the Viking Age in Scandinavia, suggested that moralizing gods preceded complex societies, while other research, such as a study of Eurasian empires, found that moralizing gods followed the rise of complex societies. But those studies were limited in geographic scope and hampered at times because historians lack detailed information on the complexity of societies at given points in history. An anthropologist at Keio University in... the new study... overcome limitations, blah, 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 sorry. Scientists analyzed the relationship between social complexity and moralizing gods in 414 societies spanning the past 10,000 years from 30 regions across the globe. Researchers examined 51 measures of social complexity, such as the size of the largest settlement and the presence of a formal legal code, and 4 measures of supernatural enforcement of morality, such as the concept of supernatural force that monitors and punishes selfish actions. The researchers found that belief in moralizing gods usually followed increases in social complexity, generally appearing after the emergence of civilizations with populations of more than 1 million people. It was particularly striking how consistent it was that this phenomenon emerged at the million-person level. First, you get big societies, and these beliefs then come afterward. All in all, the research suggests that religion is playing a functional role throughout world history, helps stabilizing societies and people who cooperate overall. In really small societies, like very small groups of hunter-gatherers, everyone knows everyone else and everyone's keeping an eye on everything else to make sure they're behaving well. Bigger societies are more anonymous, so you might not know who to trust. At those sizes, you see the rise of beliefs in all-powerful supernatural person watching and keeping things under control, which makes sense because if you were in a new city and you knew that you had a common religion with another person, you'd be more inclined to trust them in terms of like trade or whatever it was.
100%, yeah.
And you're talking about that's like before the internet was a thing, right?
Right.
So now you've got a commonality with somebody regardless of where you're from.
Right.
Which is insane. And then
because that religion defined who you were.
Exactly.
They defined all of your beliefs and everything. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, and it's this moral code.
So fascinating.
It's super fascinating.
Yeah.
It does make a lot of sense to me. Like I don't understand how, like the Vatican, for example. I'm starting to think about how the Vatican exists in the center of Italy or wherever. Is it? No, Rome.
No, Italy.
Am I fucking up? God damn it!
They're
See,
Italians.
We're not experts, okay? We're just passionate about cool things. They're Italians.
They're Italians.
I know.
They speak Italian.
But the way you said it was really funny. No, they're Italian.
No, they're fucking Italian. Yeah. Vatican City, Italy.
Okay, cool. So it makes sense that it makes sense. Mamma mia.
That was offensive. I'm sorry.
It's offensive.
I'm sorry, dude.
I'm a little Italian man.
I am non-Italian. I'm sorry.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so I instantly thought of the Vatican because you're talking about the center of the state of the Vatican or Italy being the central control spot for the entire city
of the Catholic Church, yeah.
Right, and if you were to do that, you're talking about creating a moral code for more than 1 million fucking people, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. That's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
It's a me, God.
You say that in your head, and it's just like it's never not.
Pepsi
funny.
Freak, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. Continuing, just really quick.
Let's get some bullet points to talk about.
We are not
here.
saying anything about the value of religion. We are not saying it is good or bad, but we are saying it has a deep and consistent relationship with societies throughout the world history. Religion is deeply intertwined with what it means to be a human, for better and for worse. So if you guys want to read any more of this stuff, the detailed report, I've posted the article I have just read, and also the Nature article in Discord, so you guys can view both of those things back to back if you want to go really in there.
Read it because they're super fascinating.
Right, and I mean, you know,
can we put the Vatican City thing to rest here? If it's its own country, I thought they spoke Italian. So that was my fault for not.
I don't know. That's nuts, dude.
But this idea
tell me
is
your
obviously
thoughts, because I have a lot, but I want to hear you.
So it's so complex, but the best way that I could kind of very generally put it is like, yeah, that makes sense.
That's exactly how
I mean?
Yeah.
In the sense of like, you know, at least, and obviously like, so I grew up Christian Episcopalian. So like,
do you eat fish and eggs or?
That is pescatarian. So get it right. That joke has been said many times.
Sorry.
Do I know the difference between those Christian religions? Nope. Because I grew up in that, going to church every week, but kind of just not really getting it from my parents. My mom is very religious, but my dad was kind of loose. We went to church every week, you know, and stuff like that. I was bored out of my fucking mind because I was a kid with ADD.
And you're going
and
to
so
church.
like, and we're going to church. It's quiet, sad. It's like, it's all that kind of stuff. So like, I just learned very quickly. And here's the real sad, kind of transparent moment that I think it kind of turned for me, right? So rough stuff in the family growing up, right?
Yeah.
And at like basically the height of it, I remember like this is burned in my memory forever. It's so sad and also very cinematic.
Sure.
At the same time, like I had bunk
You're talking
beds.
about a life-defining
moment, right? I don't
happened.
remember a lot of those because ADD kind of sucks that way. So,
Yeah.
But like I remember this moment. I was like, so my brother and I shared a room. We had bunk beds. I was on the top bunk. I just remember like kind of like rolling over, like looking out the window, and being like, "This is so fucking sad." I was like, let me try to pray. And I know this is like, as a kid, it's not a good way to approach this necessarily, but it's still just like a turning point in my religious beliefs that still did it. So I turned into my bed and I was like, let me just try to pray. And I was like, God, if you exist, why are you doing this to my family?
Yeah.
Right? Super fucking sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a serious like moment as a child.
You were at a point where you didn't know what to do.
I was like, it was a rough part.
You were willing to like accept anything.
Right. And so I was like, this is the bottom of the barrel. Like please, whatever. You know what I mean? Why is this happening to our family? That kind of stuff.
Right.
And so nothing got better.
Yeah.
And I had no other choice as just a growing adult or like a growing kid, just to be like, well, what am I supposed to think here, right? So then it kind of, you know, started with that and then just grew into the beliefs that I have today, which is definitely more scientific and more reality and more, you know, thought and just like evidence and all that kind of stuff that led me to believe to this point. So, but in the sense of this, so that's kind of like where I came from, right?
Yeah.
And so like,
so this just makes sense.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So it's like, so you start to think of the bigger picture of it. You think of religion and how it's practiced today. It's very much like, dude, you don't question God.
Yeah.
God is all and everything and created the heavens and the earth, and he is the one true answer to everything.
Yeah.
And you don't question that, right? And and if you do, you're fucking getting your hand slapped. You know what I mean?
After
so it's like
you die, you will see.
You're burning in hell. So it's just like you start to think about that just like objectively.
Yes.
And you're like, duh. Like, wait, you're not. I can't question this. Like, I can't think of other things that I can smell, see, and touch, and feel, and all that kind of stuff. And so it just got to the point where it's just like, okay, what's going on here? That's how I like started to get to that point.
Right.
What's going on with religion? Like, how is religion perceived in today's world? Today, where we're connected to any piece of information I possibly could get. People are connected around the world. that's where people are making these studies where it's like hundreds of different cultures are studied and the pieces are being put together, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I conclude that this makes sense.
Yes.
So
agreed.
it makes sense because when the populations of these early cultures get bigger and bigger and bigger, revolt and stuff like that starts to happen where it's like, well, who the fuck is in charge?
Right.
You go to the people that like may know the most or have the most. You know, they have the most whatever currency of the time it was, or the biggest farm, or the big whatever it is.
Control is what it is.
It was all control. So then those people at the top that had that power knew they didn't have any more power than what they had tangibly, right?
Right.
So then it gets to the point where like, what else are we going to do?
Right.
Well, we have to now kind of come up with this idea of God, idea of religion,
right, to
control the population, right? So it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I think like it's a combination of control and also like a melding of cataclysmic events.
And it was the unexplained.
Right, exactly.
Like explaining the unexplainable.
Explaining the unexplained, like it's an act
Alpha
of God.
Alpha brain. But that's the thing. Yeah. It's explaining the unexplainable. And so what else but then just to say that it's just a guy in the sky that's, doing all this.
Right.
It's a creator. There's someone in this bigger picture. You know, there's a form of that today, and this is what we can get into with a lot of like the stuff that we've talked about.
Sure. With
your beliefs and like kind of like someone's got to be doing something with all this.
Yeah, yeah.
And so like so that was that version of it in the early days of civilization. So like they had to do something where they were just like we got to write this story, and just the similarities between different religious cultures are still centered around the same thing of you got to do good, and when you die, you will be fine. Right. Or if you do bad, you will not be fine.
Well, they've also talked about, and I think we've talked about this in past episodes, or maybe it was just you and me.
I'm getting hyped. Sorry.
Like,
we picked a good discussion from that.
It is a good, it's a good one because we haven't had one of these.
We really haven't.
Like it's just been like kind of brushed. We're like, I don't want to get into it because it's not the topic tonight. So, we have talked just briefly, I believe, in past episodes about how like certain things like. If you can't have crawfish on Sunday because you'll die.
Yeah.
Like maybe that was actually the case because like if the shit was flowing down river or whatever and you were eating that,
there had to have been some explanation.
Right. So like why were there rules in place that don't make any sense? Well, like at the times those probably would have been in context pretty great to know. Like Charles went down the river on Sunday, ate some crawfish, he fucking passed out, died, he shat himself.
Yeah.
Like that's dysentery, you know what I mean? Like we can
right.
diagnose that now.
Exactly.
But like back then it's like, we don't know why.
Anything that you can't explain, you're just like, well, there's just
where does the sun go at night? Oh, it must be sleeping.
It was that simple.
That's what Batman said,
Yeah, and it's sometimes gets where does the sun go at night? And it's just like it's those simple things
can see in,
that
like,
now
the
can get
old
defined.
Models of the universe and all that. Like the whole
because they just couldn't define it.
Well, they didn't have that.
They didn't have the technology. They didn't have the thoughts on it.
Right.
Because
anybody who did, they were considered like
they were cast
away. They were the roaming philosophers. That's why you see like all those like past philosophy. Like if you see any pictures of like philosophers depicted in any way, shape, or form, they've got like no real clothes on. It's just like a robe, and they're always like disheveled and dirty and shit. Yeah, exactly. Socrates. Yeah, dude. Socrates, dude.
But that's it evolves into this point where it's like, they have this idea.
So tell me your opinion now, and I'll explain my origin story and get into my opinion.
Yes, this is good.
Because this doesn't change how I view any of this stuff.
It's a coming to an understanding because here's where I am today, right?
Right.
So I live a life of not necessarily I hate to be kind of cliche about this, but like it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So because everybody feels like it has to be like I have to get to heaven. Like that is my goal. And my goal
it's like retirement. For your entire life.
For your existence, And so it's like but no one can ever define what it's like to be dead. I mean, they
Of course,
can, to their understanding, they can have visions.
You can believe.
One can say that the tryptamine or dopamine or something like that, like kind of
dimethyltryptamine.
Yes, that like it goes fucking insane when you die.
Yeah.
And then if you come back to life or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just
let
crazy.
me explain it to you real quick because you were briefly explaining it.
Oh, so many
words. They associated. There is a release of dimethyltryptamine in your system and overflooding of it during near-death experiences. That's why people explain that they saw their entire life flash before their eyes, or like had forever in a few minutes. Like that's what dimethyltryptamine does. It lasts, if you were to do the psychedelic itself, it lasts for about 6 or 7 minutes and feels like an eternity.
I don't know if I'll ever.
And it's inside you.
The DMT's up there, right? So it's like,
yeah.
So that's kind of an example of like at least in today's standards.
At least that's a rumor. I don't think that's like confirmed.
I've never done DMT, and
neither have I.
I think I would do it. I would lose it. But like,
it used to be legal. You could order it online.
Yeah, and it's in plants and stuff like. I get.
No, I mean like you could get the sign. Like it was back in the 2000s. You could order it online.
Jesus.
Get like a fucking Joe Rogan talks about it all the time. Get like a Folgers coffee can of DMT, scientific grade, delivered to your house.
Jeez.
Because
that got shut down real quick.
We don't know what this is. There you go.
Here it is. Let's all trip balls forever.
Well, I don't even know if they knew that was the
crazy.
case, because when you ingest it orally, nothing happens. It only happens when you vaporize it or smoke it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I was like...
And it's just like putting those pieces together where it's like...
Did you know they were doing that with LSD? When they made it, they were literally giving it to everybody. Not like...
it was like a medicinal aspect.
No,
right?
they were like, we don't know what this does. It's a new substance. So they were sending it to literally everybody.
Damn.
If you have like an organization, you could get it. Like...
Imagine
like,
that.
We're studying this, like, you know.
And they learned that.
Wow.
So if they could learn from those, like, I don't want to call them mistakes, but if they could learn from that experience of giving that out,
dude, I had one of the most psychedelic experiences ever.
But then they do it again with DMT, and so they didn't learn from those mistakes. What could happen next, as far as
my experience has been, and I haven't done any psychedelics per se, but my sensory deprivation tank where I like met my gorilla, like that is a life-defining moment for me. Right. And it's not real. You know what I mean?
You know it's not real, but it's something that was in there.
Because I experience it. It's like a VR.
Yeah. That's and it's just it's these layers of the human brain that we still have no idea. There's no understanding of these different deeper levels of our brain that we could try to articulate that. But
speaking of which, if you want to help people deeply understand their brain and cure PTSD,
here we go. Give it to the people.
We are sponsored or working with MAPS, just like we have been every year.
Quick pause so I can fucking take a breath.
Yes, you're good. You're good. Drink some water, man.
I'm almost out.
So go fill it up.
Go fill it up. You got it.
Yeah. So the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies is a organization that is very close to me. I've grown up not only experiencing PTSD to a certain degree. I have friends, I have family who have PTSD from their past traumatic experiences. They have found, MAPS has been funding research for MDMA-assisted psychotherapy, and the way it works, PTSD, at its like core level, the traumatic event, the memory that is so terrible is stuck in that person's short-term part of the brain, and it causes them to relive that moment over and over and over again whenever a trigger happens. So the best, so like when we're talking about veterans, for example, 4th of July is like a hell day for some veterans for a lot of veterans with PTSD. When that firework goes off, they're brought back into that moment of gunfire, that terrible moment, and they relive it every single time. And so what they found is when you give somebody a medicinal dose of MDMA, it opens up all the neural pathways in the brain further, which means the brain can comprehend and think about things differently. And then they do a therapy session. By the 11th or 12th session, they're curing 70 to 90% of the participants. And when I say curing, what's happening is the memory is being migrated from the short-term to the long-term part of the brain, and then they no longer have PTSD. That trauma is now a long-term memory. Fucking nuts. It's the only cure that I know of. They're in phase 3 trials right now that'll be finishing up this year, FDA approval afterward, and then it'll be a viable treatment for anybody who has PTSD if they'd like to do it. If you guys have any questions, links are in there. If you'd like to donate directly in there, we raised $2,000 last year thanks to you fucking awesome people, and we're looking to raise $3,000 this year. I'm friggin' stoked about that. All of your subs, all of your bits, half of that money every month goes to MAPS. You guys will see me posted on Twitter. I'll round up like I did this past payout. You'll see like what we got paid from Twitch and then the donation going through. If you guys would rather donate directly, go through there. If you want me to know about it, tell me in the chat so I can see it. Thank you guys.
So sick. And this is actually kind of like another connection even to what MAPS is doing. So like it's so thinking scientifically in a religious world.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, like religion has been a part of our existence for tens of thousands of years. Right.
Yeah.
It's always been like, okay, can't explain it. Gotta be God. All right.
Sure.
What's that on the ground? What is that turtle? Can't explain it. Must have been God's creation. Yep. Right. But then we have gotten to the point. So I guess what I'm saying here with this next kind of portion is that like this is where it gets controversial. Like, sure. I don't think religion belongs in today's world.
Okay.
Right. And it's a bold statement, and I know that, but it's like my wife is religious.
Mm-hmm.
Grew up in a Christian household. Her dad was a pastor, so like, we have discussions about this and like good discussions about it. So it's like, so I know I'm gonna try to make this into 2 parts.
Sure.
Is how I believe that, and I don't discount religion. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Right. So like with religion existing. I mean, even this stuff, like as an example, like there have been kind of anger points that I've always thought about where it's just like they fucking just want to control us, man, and that kind of you can't help but kind of think about that.
Like a degree of that too, because like when I think of the
hungry
Vatican,
guy, yeah, it's
like that literally is a gold building, like built to keep. I mean, I'm gonna say it, pedophile safe.
It's public knowledge.
Saying
this is public knowledge now.
See it. I'm not saying like
hundreds of fucking Catholic priests are now convicted.
It's bad
of pedophilia,
and so
fine. It's like and so I will always have that kind of anger foundation of
everybody
like, power hungry.
Everybody
religion.
can find that.
Exactly, and it's not opinionated. It's really
none of this is negated. This isn't like the sole reason why we do this.
Right.
Obviously, if people have enough power, there can be corruption. Ooh. Sometimes it's guaranteed.
Happening everywhere that we can right now.
Right.
Everywhere we see.
It's topical.
It's like, but right.
Go on. Get back on your horse. Yeah.
This is good,
dude. I can tell you're on alpha brain today.
So much alpha. No, it's just 2.
You haven't said any like I haven't heard like or anything from you.
Sick. It works. So, like, no, I'm just kidding. That was on purpose. But but I still appreciate religion for what it is, right? I know we literally would not exist today if it probably wasn't for religion.
According to that study, probably not.
Right, because here's where it gets into kind of like a deeper level of instinct and primal force.
Sure.
So the way I think about this idea is a survival factor, right?
Yeah.
So if we think, So we think of just
the fucking Viking society.
They were just like that. We have to exist,
pillaging and fucking killing everybody.
Right? And
you're just like, there's a man in the sky, and they're like, what?
They had to do it. So it's like,
sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. So like, evolutionarily, right? It was always like you gotta survive.
Yeah.
You gotta take down the other thing, or
it's
you gotta
actually
like
the number one thing for being a human. I don't know if you know that.
And so what does that mean?
Yeah.
In the sense of survival, like every aspect of our existence is still survival in some degree, right? Mm-hmm. We got to get that good job so we can get enough money to be able to do this and that and that and that just to survive, right?
Right.
So religion was that same thing. So it got past the point of like, I don't really need to hunt.
Yeah.
I don't really need to, I don't need to farm. We got comfortable, right?
Yeah.
So there was this
cities and shit.
Right. So it was to the point where it obviously wasn't like this easy, but I can go down the street, go to the market, and get all the food that I need.
I don't need to go hunt a tiger or whatever. Yeah,
It wasn't true survival in its most primitive nature, right?
Exactly.
So it got to that next level where like, okay, what's the next branch of survival? Religion. It's still like we have to still survive. So now we don't have to fight.
The idea is that we have to. How do we? No, it's not pre-recorded. Melter Rubik's. Hi, I'm Steve. This is my name's KonkyTalks64.
Bet that twisted you, huh?
RtwoLeetwo.
Nice to meet you.
This is the Exp Talk Show where we have passionate discussions that make us better people, and to some degree, or broaden our perspectives. Welcome in, my dude.
But what if this was pre-recorded and we just knew you were gonna be in
Melted Rubik's? You're in the Matrix right now. Do you think that's air you're breathing now?
Quick hit pause. No, freeze, as if we're paused. Go ahead, play again. That was a good skit. I'm just kidding. So for those just kind of catching up and hanging out with us, so we're talking about
a study.
In the broad sense, religion, but specifically a study from Live Science about ancient societies. When they hit about 1 million people is when God kind of appeared and formed. God's religion and stuff like that. So this is kind of like our third eye, dude.
Right.
Good call, Joe Bash. Good to see you,
this is Patrick.
No, this is Patrick. So what were we gonna?
I love you, Chief.
Yeah.
I love you. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Was it my turn?
I think it was your turn. So. Because I could still fucking go crazy.
No, I was saying, so like the whole idea was that after 150 people, which by the way, this is an actual number. So like in society, the maximum number of people you can remember in terms of names and stuff is about 150. And the reason for that is because in the growing societies that we had, tribes of about 150 people existed, like not roaming, but that's how we existed in smaller societies. So genetically, that's how we create our own social circles, our societies, that sort of thing. So once the population increased, the idea is that, how do we keep everybody in line and create order? Because there is none. Yeah. There's no way to do this stuff. And I'm curious about this now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm thinking about like crazy fucking Genghis Khan.
Yeah,
and like what his I don't think he even had religion. Maybe it was like a rejection of all of that.
That could have been like a whole. That's a
whole different story, maybe. But like, I'm just thinking about like
maybe he thought he was in control, so he could do whatever he wanted.
Well, I'm wondering if this was like during the time period of like when these societies were starting to come up, because then you're talking about an area of people trying to figure out, what this all is, and fuck it, like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I can do whatever I want. I can pillage, kill, whatever, and then they have laws in place, right? And the penalties are death. But like, how do you instill law across generations that don't divide like wealth? Yeah. Right? Yeah. And so we touched on this a little bit, but like if I go to a different country and I know that somebody's the same religion as me, it's like automatically like I trust you. So it'd be the same if you were traveling or whatever.
At least in those times.
Right, in those times, yeah. Now
and my version of that is when someone comes to me and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm an atheist." I have that same thing.
Yeah. See, for me, I don't really have.
I at least have that same thing in the sense of like
camaraderie.
It's just understanding kind of your whole life's thought process. Yeah. In a sentence. Yeah, I'm an atheist. And it's like, and you could just be like, oh man, I get
associate that with like a lot of negativeness though.
What, atheism?
Yeah.
The culture behind it, yeah.
The culture behind it's pretty fucking
Neil Tyson does a really good kind of thought behind that, where he doesn't call himself atheist or agnostic. Yeah, the Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like that. When he said that, I was like, I'm glad I'm not alone in that, because I agree. Well, I guess I should explain like my religion thing.
Yeah, go into it, dude. Yes.
So for me, I wasn't really angry so much about religion. It was more of like this misunderstood thing, and people were like forcing it on me. So when I was growing up, I grew up Greek Orthodox. I don't know what that means.
That's like OG religion.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably came from like the island that thought of it or some shit.
Next to Catholicism, that's probably like one of the OG religions.
Yeah, and
like that sounds so stupid.
I went to no, don't worry about it. I honestly, like, I'm speaking from generality. I honestly don't really know much about it. I just recall two things. One, when we were doing like ceremony at the church, and Greek church, for anybody who isn't there, it's beautiful. It's crazy how much money that place has.
Yeah.
Like they got literal gold in the walls and shit. And so
that's kind of another
it's different story.
Money and religion, bro.
They're not taxed. What the fuck? But anyway, fucking goddamn it.
Sorry.
Anyway, so I was really young. I was doing Sunday school on a semi-regular basis, and then we had like communion or whatever where you have to drink the wine, and I was like, oh yeah, I love this bread because it's Greek bread. Greek bread's delicious, and they bake it in there because they got their own like bakery as well, because this is more than just a church. And so I'm like eating bread, and they're like, you did the blood of Christ. So I drink it, and then I think I can't remember if this is a story I made up or my mom told me, but I'm pretty sure I got sick on the priest because I wasn't expecting wine. It was like juice. It was literal wine. They're giving it to a child. What do you fucking expect?
Blood of Christ.
Anyway,
dude. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. So anyway, I think I got sick on the priest. I barfed on him or some shit, and then I didn't go back. And then my mom and dad, we were living in a, not like going back to the area is actually really nice. Like we lived in a really considered bad part of the neighborhood where I was living, but honestly, it was probably the best growing up I could have had because I knew my neighbors. I had like a society of children that played street hockey with me.
Oh, dude, yeah.
It was fucking. It was like the Mighty Ducks. You know what I mean? It was sick. Anyway.
Car.
Yeah. Car. Yeah. Exactly, dude. Fuck. That's so awesome. So to keep me out of public school, because my mom thought I would be corrupted, she put me into a Lutheran school. And so they did mass and choir and like all this stuff, and it was every Wednesday and all this other shit. And I had learned about like different saints and stuff at Greek Orthodox. And when I was in class, you had a grade in religion. And guess what my grade was, boys? A C. Because you couldn't fail.
You're an average religion
as long as you
student.
believe, all right, you get a C.
That's kind of fucking weird.
I don't know, dude. It's weird that you could even grade somebody.
How religious are you based
off
of this
grade? Can you say these hymns exactly as we have presented?
Yikes,
no, then
dude.
you get a yeah. I know.
Oh,
whatever.
my God.
So that was a process. But anyway, they were trying to unlearn all the things I had learned from Greek Orthodox. So that was like St. Peter and like all this other stuff that I don't really recall. I just remember the names. And
so it was going from Greek Orthodox to Lutheran. Wow. Okay.
And so they were like, that stuff isn't real. And I was like, but I literally like learned all of this stuff a few weeks ago or some shit.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, that's not how it is. I'm like, okay, well, neither of you know what you're talking about, clearly, because somebody's not talking. And it's definitely not him, because he's not like, or that thing, whatever. And so that was when I was just kind of felt like I was an outcast. And that's when I kind of gave it up. Like, I just didn't really pursue it. And then I fell into the, God's not real, and I was really angry about it for a little bit phase. And then my defining moment happened when I was dating some girl who was super religious, and I wasn't. And then I was like trying to convince her that God wasn't real, and that doesn't work for people who are religious. It
doesn't.
I don't know if you guys know this, so like
it doesn't. Don't like try it.
And so I had been misinterpreting at this point in my life, for me, and again, this is just my life experience. I was misinterpreting what I felt was real and what was not real. Okay, so I wasn't like I wasn't acknowledging other people's feelings. I was more like, this is the facts. Whatever else is not the facts, go fuck yourself, regardless of how that was. And so we broke up primarily because of that reason. And I was like, I was really thinking about it, because I was like, I've never broken up with somebody that like I was very close to like love point, you know what I mean? And the point was like, you don't believe in something that I don't. And I was like, that's fucking crazy. I've never thought that would be a possibility in my entire life. Because everything else was fucking 100% good. Yeah. Right?
It was just that.
And yes. Okay. And so I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I just smoked myself into a panic attack and laid in my bed and really just thought about like what I thought religion was. And I came up with this thing. Where I am. So I will share with you now what I believe, I guess.
Listen up, you guys got your popcorns?
Yeah. So in simple terms, I'm more of like the psychedelic form of existence. I believe that like souls and consciousness, those are the same words to a certain degree. I believe that in, you know, a certain respect. I don't know anything about ghosts, but the whole existence outside of yourself, out of body experiences, like all these things, I really believe that they're not just powers of the mind. It's something that maybe goes beyond that. And but that's kind of biased because I've had some really crazy psychedelic experiences that like I can't explain other than
it's that chemical like crazy imbalance that's going on in your brain that we still don't understand.
Yeah, it's an uncomprehension of like not like feeling connected to everything and all things. And that's something that like I obviously I think comes with like the physicalness of being a human being. Basically, I mean, God, the universe, time and space, like all of these words are the same to me, is what it is. In
like different contexts and
yeah, I mean like acts of God is like just the universe happening. It's not like it's blind fucking luck for sure, or a timeline opened up for you or some shit. I don't really know how to explain it. Yeah. Basically what I believe in the end of all of this stuff is you can believe whatever you'd like to believe as long as you're not hurting other people. Yeah. And when you do that, like there's something fucking wrong with like the setup that you're currently in. And I really think, you know, we're in this day and age of the internet and all this shit happening, and rumors are no longer a thing for you know, pedophiles in Catholic Church. But it's so weird. It's just like this. The internet is sort of like its own religion at a certain point, because now we have this connection with other people across the world and states and all that, without the necessary need of like a moral code. And I remember this question coming up, and this is what really is just like fucking upsetting to me about some of this stuff, because people's unwillingness to see other people's perspectives is probably the most frustrating thing for me about it. And how do you not kill people? How do you not, you know, hurt others without believing you're gonna like without a moral code? It's like you can have morals and not be religious, because it's like it's this isn't fucking Viking days anymore, and that's a good kind of like piece to what I was talking about. And I'm not saying that religion isn't I'm not saying religion is a bad thing. I like, think it's something that's needed for some people. Like, I understand the spectrum of human existence, and if you can't think to an extent or willingness to go beyond the comprehension of where you're at, to understand your surroundings and the universe and all these words that seem like they're super intimidating, I get how it would be very comfortable to just accept that things were done for you. Right. And so I get that, because I've been there. I've been there before. I remember living through that, where I'm like, okay, well, this is just all for me, you know, like people just do that. But there's a selfishness in that, and there's also like there's other things that you can do to help define it. And like I've been to church, like not recently, but in the past like 5 years. I go with Leia on occasion, you know, like, and it's not I see the community and I see the messages behind it. I believe, you know, Jesus was a real person. I don't think maybe Son of God is going really far. I think he might have just been a fucking righteous dude. Like, I don't... maybe he was the modern version of woke. Well, I think, like... from that time. That's what I'm saying. You know, he was like, because he dressed in robes. He had, like, the Socrates look. This is the story that I'm telling you. And then, I don't think he was as serious as everybody thinks. I like to think of Jesus as, like, that fucking cool-ass dude that comes to the party is like, dude, I brought the fucking wine. We're gonna hang out, you know? It's like, yeah, water into wine. Like, yeah, we were drinking water, and he brought the wine. And it was a party trick or some shit. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, he's got to be a chill dude, is what I'm saying. Yeah. He's not, I think, like, you just gotta let it go, man. Like, you look at the pictures of like Jesus, and you see, like, a 70s dude, is what I see. Like, he's, like, looking down at you being like, dude, I brought the wine that I made. Bro, chill. Yeah, but I think it's like, so that's my perspective. That's great. And so the like, going back to what I was saying about, like, the survival factor, it's like each of us have, like, overall somewhat of the same goal. Yeah. Right? It's always trying to know the unknown to some degree. More religious people don't necessarily think that way too much, because everything is just a definition. Like, it is God, it is religion, it is Jesus, and it's all that kind of stuff. Right. So
but we all have some sort of motivating force to survive.
Yeah.
This primitive motivating source to survive. I don't see it as religion. I see it as, the
human
expanse.
Nature?
Well, it is human nature to an extent, but it's now at the point of where, because of our consciousness and our understanding of the universe now, it's the further definition of knowing the unknown. It's the further ability to be able to scientifically discover like the fabrics of every aspect of the universe.
Yeah.
Them thinking about multi-dimensional aspects and being able to define, like, if we can't see, we've only sent a probe. The Voyager 1 and 2 is the furthest thing we've ever sent ever, and it's now just in deep space.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, the untapped potential of human nature and human existence is like a drop in the bucket, right?
Did you ever? Well, I'm just thinking about like. Never mind. Go ahead.
So, if it comes, let me know. If it comes back.
It's there. I'm
okay.
just gonna let it.
Okay. Let it
hang
marinate
out for a bit.
Okay.
It's gonna marinate.
So because of that factor, like that's my motivation to exist. Is like, what else is out there that we need to define? Like, we need to be able to understand these aspects of our brain to be able to further define the thing that's been in our head for millions of years.
Right.
Right.
You're talking about like human behavior, understanding like where our behaviors come from as a race, not as an individual.
Yeah, well, like, behavior, I think is
or is it instinct?
It's kind of hard to define, because like behavior is still the surface level of it, because that's more just like your reaction and stuff like that to your surroundings.
Yeah, well, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Well, I agree with that, but like the behavior is what's driving the whole thing.
Right, but the behavior is also like you are creating a behavior based off of your
genetic code,
and that's where it's like even
that's what you're talking
about. So
okay,
for example, like the when they just, I'm talking within the past like 20 years, I think it was 15 or 20 years, that they mapped the human genome.
Yeah.
That happened in our lifetime.
Yeah, it's fucking
mapping the
sick,
genome
bros.
of the human, right? And so that is a written story of our DNA.
Yeah.
So like, the more information that we find out that are these different breakthrough things, then we'll understand, okay, why does MDMA trigger this and this and this? Right. Which then will spiral into, okay, that's why you have this out-of-body experience, or that's why you have this near-death experience. You see your life flash before your eyes. You see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, all these different things that we have not been able to explain, so we just call it religion.
Sure, yeah.
But it's not necessarily, and this is all completely in my eyes, but it's like, it's not religion. It's just undefined yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like defined. It's yet to be defined, right? So so it's that's the inevitable. Like, this is all the stuff that is already inevitable.
Sorry.
So all this stuff is already happening, right?
Yes.
All this, like, this power of truth and information and scientific data and all the studies and stuff like that is inevitable. All of the inevitable. So it's like, all this stuff is gonna happen. So that's why I believe the way that I believe, because it's going to happen. Like, we're gonna find out more stuff. We're gonna be able to map more things. We're gonna make some bumps along the way. CRISPR came out. Guy just like kind of went on his own whim and created a genetically engineered baby. Fuck some shit up, right? But then
he removed the HIV disease from.
So it's like that. It's like these silver linings that come from scientific discovery. And all this kind of stuff is what I feel is going to propel the human race into the future.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe that religion shouldn't
So you think it's like holding people back then?
Well, it's and so here's that two-piece thing that I was talking about. It's like yes, I believe that it's holding back human society as we know it.
Right.
Like, right now, like, and so this is where it gets even more layers, but it's like think of, almost every war on the planet.
The Crusades, maybe?
The Crusades, and the wars even right now, the war in Yemen, like the between ISIS, the Palestinians and the Israelites and stuff like that. So it's like all these wars and these battles and all this stuff is kind of just religion.
It is, yeah.
It's like,
at the end of the day,
you don't believe what I believe, so you need to die. Right. You know what I mean? And it's like, and that's like almost what exactly it is. We got into war, and this is, all.
I mean, I feel like that's a big driving force, but like with the whole interconnectedness with like how society works now with the internet, and again, we're like 12 years in.
Right.
You know, we're not.
But we are just so small in there,
We are
and
like
so
the budding. Not even. We're still fucking seed.
Oh, dude,
right
dude, we're about to grow, baby.
Yeah.
We've been planted. We've been watered, and we're just gonna sprout real soon.
We already got robots that like can house human. I said human.
So why not
house
stop
human
that?
organs?
Right. So it's like so. Yes, I feel it's gonna be crazy, but yes, I feel that religion is holding a lot of the world back because it's that objection to truth. Right. It's always like, no, you can't have an abortion because God says no. It's like, well, no. Yeah. And like all these different like kind of political things and all that kind of stuff. But like,
yeah, but you don't even need to be religious to even like, I don't know if abortion's a great thing, but great thing to like pinpoint on, because there are some people who are just like staunch and like pro-human or whatever. So but a lot
of that fundamental is very religious.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where that stems from. Whether they say it or not, that's where it really stems from.
Yeah.
Because if they believe, killing babies is wrong, but then they believe in
killing gays,
right, and all that shit, it's stupid. But anyway, so that's a whole other topic.
That's a contradiction.
That's another topic for another day. So sorry.
No, you're good. Don't apologize.
I'm just like all in this, but it's like you could tell where this is like really just been.
Yeah.
But so that's how like yes, I feel it's kind of held back, right? But again, I like religion should exist, and it will exist for a long time.
Yeah.
Until more and more people kind of believe.
I think it just be changed. Like,
well,
it's gonna be changed to like how you and me have kind of come to terms with like our own thing. It doesn't, when it comes down to like organized religions and stuff, I think, and we're seeing like religions split off from like the main ones, right? And that's why we have all these different sects and like people SECT guys, little children out there. Clean up your minds. Yeah, so that's why we see all these different sects who are like accepting of LGBTQ and like all these other things. And so I think like at the core of it all, the stuff that will thrive is like the love, the compassion, and the acceptance. And that's what we hope for. The tough part is, again, is like you're going the against, cool thing, the thing that we're seeing a lot is like the reports of include the people.
What am I doing?
You were just like this, like,
oh, sorry. To
me, and I was like,
I get into here. I'm sorry.
No, you're just like honed in.
Hey,
bro.
guys, hey, nice to see you.
Yeah. But no. So the idea is that like as we get further into the future, as time goes by, we're gonna see more reports of like people who are not religious or whatever it is, or maybe they're not like part of the main religion groups, the core sects, that are about disclusion and causing turmoil between other people.
Yeah, and that's why it will never not
like,
exist.
and those will. I mean, we live in a country where there'll always be people trying to create minorities and like displace people and do all of that. And I truly believe the longer we go along this path of the internet and information, the closer we become as a society, the easier we can communicate and band together, and then eventually there really isn't room for that. If that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense, and like and that's
like,
that's a good way to put it.
Then they have to hide.
Yeah.
Then it's like the fucking KKK and all that shit. It's like, why do you have to hide if you're so proud? It's like, well, yeah, because if in society, if you were 150 people, guess what? You're fucking fending for yourselves because we don't need that shit.
Yeah. It like gets to the point. So like there's a video that a video / TED Talk that I always like to resort back to. It's like, it was called. Like the creation of a movement or something like that. Like how to create a movement. And this guy dissects this video that is basically it's the I'm sure you've seen it. It's this video that was on like this outdoor music festival, and it's like this one crazy ass guy that's just dancing like an idiot by himself. Right? And so he's doing that for a little bit. He's getting video, so everyone's just like kind of staring at him, goofing at him, and stuff like that. And then it was First Follower. That's what the name of the video is. So it's like, so then the second guy comes up and starts dancing with him. And now it doesn't seem so weird. Now you got two people dancing. Seems a little bit more norm, right?
Yeah.
A few more people come in. And then a few more people come in. And then sure enough in this video, like literally a mob of people started coming in and just having this crazy dance party.
Yeah.
Right? So it was always, and so the idea behind the video is like, be that first follower.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you're seeing someone crazy, doing something crazy. And if you're that first follower and make it seem not so crazy, then like it'll start this movement, right? It's a really fascinating TED Talk, right? But I kind of attribute that to then a lot of like, you know, the scientific mind is that same kind of thing. It's going to just multiply and start toppling down to the point where the KKK people, as it's happening now, are just pushed back into a corner, and then they're like, "Fuck, this. Right. I guess I got to be part of this."
And there's a lot of there's a lot of hope for that stuff too. Yeah. I mean, there was that black guy who befriended and disbanded an entire KKK like organization.
Yeah. There was like some
just by sitting and talking. Oh, there was
like some contradicting things about that guy, but like I forgot like the specifics on it, but like a lot of people in the black community were like, this guy's full of shit or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Interesting.
But I watched that documentary and I was like, hell yeah, dude. And then like I started to peel back the layers and I was like, well, fuck.
That's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, so that's the idea. So yes, it's disappointing.
Yeah.
But it's one step closer to knowing the truth.
True.
You know what I mean? So if you always try to live your life of like getting one more step further and closer to the truth, then that's your motivation. You know what I mean? Reapproach that, and that's where you question everything, and you try to like.
It took a breakup for me to do that. You know, like
sometimes you need to fall before you get back up.
That was such like a deep part of my identity.
That was stupid. Sometimes you fall before you get back up. It's so stupid.
No, it's
anyway,
that's true.
It was just
sometimes
it's
you
literal.
fall before you get back up. Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta.
There's
an analogy somewhere.
Yeah, that's a tweet you would send out for like anybody. You'd be like, sometimes you fall. Sometimes when you fall, you got to get back up. Hashtag Twitch.
Hashtag fucking live life, dude. Hashtag fucking donate bits to me, dude, because I'm fucking giving you some inspirational shit. We talk about that too.
Hashtag I'm a memer.
Hashtag I recut things.
Fuck.
You're really good at this scene change thing.
I didn't set up the Zoom.
Hashtag profound streamer. Yes, that's it.
Hashtag profound streamer. Hashtag
fucking.
When you fall down, you get back up.
Life goals. Fucking squad up. Fuck you. So, but
can somebody clip that? I'm gonna tweet that out literally tonight.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah.
So
that video is gonna be a reply. I made this is off topic as fuck, but I made did you see that Lisa Simpson meme I posted?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay, that video is also gonna be used in replies. If I see any fucking generic horoscopic advice ever on my timeline, guess what? You're getting that, and I'm gonna be a blocked boy. Literally, dude, I posted that Lisa Simpson meme on some dudes like I think I saw that. Yeah. And I got fucking blocked immediately.
Stupid.
I was like,
call you out on your shit.
I'm not. Ooh, yeah.
Question that person,
dude. I don't know about you guys, but if you're gonna be criticized, at least it's a meme. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I was talking about this. I was talking about this earlier. I was like, the fine line you could talk about criticism when you're on the internet. If you're gonna criticize anything, if there's a meme involved, then it's okay.
God, I hate that shit. But it's inevitable. It's inevitable. But like, so that like interesting kind of thought here is like, so on that topic of, God, how can I connect this to what we're talking about? Is like those profound streamers, right?
Well, it's explaining.
I'm gonna go out on a limb.
Explaining away success and failure.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and almost kind of connect to some degree. Try to follow me here.
I'm gonna call you out.
Like, call me out, please. Right. No, because I want that rebuttal, right? So those profound streamers,
yes,
act in their own way religiously, in the sense of like, I know the right word, I know the truth. And then you get the people that are
because I have a purple check mark,
right? And like you get the people like what you did that question, that reality.
I'm glad I don't get brought to the front of like a jury of people that are like, this man questioned the belief of partnered streamers.
You sound like
Morbo,
yeah. So, but they're kind of doing that same thing, and like, and they give you that rebuttal, or you give that rebuttal to that person,
yes,
and they have no choice but to shut you out.
Yeah.
What do you think happens with a lot of religion? You know what I mean?
Damn.
Weird circle, right?
No,
So
that
it's like,
fucking works,
right?
dude.
You know?
Because yeah, I'm an outcast in my
just
family.
they're just like you know, this is you know, you have to believe this and this.
Oh, he
man.
follows Satan. Hail Satan.
Just fucking hail Satan.
Hail
But, like,
yourselves, bros.
So that and so I guess like this whole idea is like,
Sorry if I'm being offensive to anybody. I'm just fucking joking around.
we already said that at the top of the show. Like,
Yeah,
if you guys
I know,
are
but
up
there
for the
might
trip,
be new
you better
people coming in
strap
here
the
and they're like,
fuck in.
"Oh, religion conversation." I'm like, "Fucking hell," you know? It's not a good.
We just sit there
introduction.
just like this when like new people come in. Just,
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Dude, I have Snapcam. We could just have flames and shit. It's Snap. It's Snap. It's
God.
fucking. It's like filters, just like.
Oh yeah. I think I've seen those.
Yeah.
I think I've seen
Some
those.
streamers have been using them. They're
Yeah.
pretty funny.
So funny, but I think just like kind of overall, dude. It's
But you're
like,
right. So like the whole idea is that if there is a question as to what the belief is, you are literally pushed out.
Yeah.
And away out of perspective.
He literally, like that guy literally said, I have no way to respond to this and no intelligent way to discuss this, so fuck you.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing.
That's literally what it is.
That's
It's
the defense mechanism.
if you're here, you are ruining the illusion of what I'm trying to do.
Right. And it's like
I am all-knowing, all-seeing, Twitch-partnered streamer.
Smash that like button, dude. So like, so it's like, so then on the opposite end, it's like so those individuals, like that is their survival. That is their primitive survival nature,
Right.
where they're just like, you know, I live my life, you know, reposting bullshit that I assume to be inspiring to other people because that makes me feel good about myself, so that I could survive in the world. I need a sense of purpose.
Right.
We didn't even go that way. Oh fuck. So here it is. I'm gonna keep it here. I promise you.
Yeah.
Everyone on the fucking planet wants a sense of purpose, whether you like it or not.
True.
Everybody wants a sense of purpose. And how people get and find that sense of purpose, that's where it gets really crazy, right? Our sense of purpose is inspiring others to just fucking question reality and then just like treat each other incredibly, create this unified world of just like everybody's information coming to one so that we could just like take this to the next universe, right?
Are you reading off of our info panel on
Read
Twitch?
that info, right? So it's like, so that is our purpose, you know what I mean? And so all these other people have that similar type of purpose, but especially with this age of the internet of people that are just reposting shit and they can't think for themselves, they can't question things for themselves.
I don't think that it's
their purpose, but it's not saying it's like necessarily the strongest.
I've talked about this to like not even nauseum. It just like fucking bothers the shit out of me that when that behavior is exhibited, it's like the same thing about like a Bible verse where like you interpret it how you like to do it, and it's like that,
okay,
yeah, like,
give me an answer, give me a yes or no, dude.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know,
yes.
it's like fuck.
You can't interpret that. Like you can't eat crawfish on Sundays. Like, well,
yeah.
crabs are great.
That's a
lazy, but only
blanketed
sometimes.
statement.
Don't eat them all.
Yeah.
Like this, you
So
can't
lazy.
do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You can't pick and choose and simplify shit. You take it either for the meaning that is given to you,
right.
or you like when you're interpreting it. It has to be within the context of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole, why did this rule exist back then?
Mm-hmm.
Not why it applies now.
Right.
Right. So,
right. And it's like that's so true, dude. And it's
true, dude.
And that's yet another reason why it's like that's the element too that I feel is like holding, society back, is just that like,
I think the element like religion is part of it, but I honestly think it's whenever a confrontation.
Oh, someone got the clip.
Hell yeah, we'll watch that in a moment.
Yeah.
If you guys want to share that online, you're more than welcome to. And if you want to post that clip, and I'm not gonna say you do it, but if you post that clip to anybody who's posting generic bullshit online, feel free to blame me. I will take all of that goddamn
hits,
blame, dude.
Fuck, like spread. Yeah,
I'll be black and blue. I don't give a shit. Hashtag
we gotta call
fucking spread.
Question
it,
that shit. And so okay, religious connotation here. Connotation, is that a word?
Dude, that's
Context?
not fucking okay. So like that meme with you guys know what I'm talking about with Riley Reid. There's this porn meme. It's amazing. And she's just like, fuck yeah, spread it. Is that what it says?
Memes are so fucking weird.
God,
is this
dude.
it?
Hold your breath. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
It's amazing.
Connotation
it's one of
is
the
a
best
word, yes.
memes, dude.
That's hilarious.
So good.
So here's the okay, full fucking circle.
Sorry.
So you guys are joking about it in the chat really quick here, but like this is how religions form.
Yeah.
Is like exactly this kind of whole thing where it's just like, guys, you know, from the best of our knowledge, we believe this to be true. The truest of the true in this particular situation is knowing that people that repost that bullshit are doing the wrong thing.
Right.
How fucked up
bullshit.
is this? Like we're literally, this is full circle.
Yeah.
But the understanding is coming. You know, is yeah. Go ahead.
Hold on. Let's pump the brakes. So
God
like,
damn.
This comes
I'm
back
hungry.
to
I might have to leave soon.
Dude,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
think
gosh.
we should wrap up soon for sure.
Oh boy.
But what
the Den of Dawn.
Hashtag Den of Dawn.
Holy shit, Den
Welcome
of Dawn.
to the Den of Dawn. I need like a fucking... No, that's racist.
Don't start it. Do not start it. We're
the
not here to
dong
start.
embraces, the dong abides.
Cut it off right now.
God damn it.
Cut it out.
What I was gonna fucking say. God damn it. It's too late. It's too late.
It started. It started.
What I was gonna say is that
fuck.
the whole idea behind there's good and bad parts to religion, right? And a lot of this reflects human behavior.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like that's where things need to be. Walking the line is very hard to do because you have both sides pulling you in different directions.
Yeah.
But the main thing that I've noticed about, regardless of religion or followers or whatever you want to talk about it, for example, like me getting blocked on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a questioning of a belief of a thing that this person deems as a part of their identity. Any question of that is an affront to them, and then they can push it off. Now, the danger of that isn't just on like his part. He's not going to grow as a person. He's now that person is level capped, so to speak, because now the only perspective you're willing to look at is the one that's comfortable, right?
Yeah.
And that's why this show exists.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, we're gonna bring it back to the XP Talk Show right now.
You drip, drip, baby, drip,
All right?
drip.
So the whole idea behind this show is to have those conversations that create a dialogue between not only me and Lee, but with you guys, to create questions in your head, asking, you know, what is this thing? Do I like believe this thing? Have I looked into this thing? Is this something new? Can I tell people about it? I mean, that's how we handle all conversations. And
fuck yeah, dude.
And
you guys feeling this?
And a lot of the stuff that we talk about, obviously we're passionate about. It's something that we care about. You guys are obviously enjoying the content, I think. Den of Dong, right? But overall, I think like what I've learned and what I think you can agree with, regardless of where you're coming from, what you believe in, limiting your perspective and not acknowledging any new information or understanding it yourselves or the things that you believe in, whatever it is, if these things aren't always rolled into question or always reevaluated, that's where you can stop growing, and that's really the big danger.
Totally, yeah.
And the danger of that,
yeah, exactly.
The danger of that is the comfort of being the same person and not accepting, you know, you could be any different, or information can change you, and it does. It's changing our society every day. You know, that's why we're seeing people do creative content, create more discussions online. You're seeing it on Twitter. Yeah. There's this like complacency.
This used to be just a gaming platform,
right? And now we're doing a talk show or a podcast on
talk show, or like IRL streams are always like the top shit now, and it's like it's crazy. Yeah. So we're branching out. And thank you guys for going on this journey with us. Does anybody have any questions for us? Yes, please. Like ask us. Something. I think Chief said something earlier. We're gonna try to go back a little bit, but yeah, like this. We're gonna. Thank you, my gosh. Like you guys have really like stuck with us through this whole conversation. Like we love these talks and stuff like that. But I just want to mention one thing, and a lot of these conversations stem from people that actually post these conversations or articles in the Discord.
Right.
Steve stumbled upon this one. Papa bless this kid. Irony. And but like if you guys have like these interesting scientific topics or cultural topics that you'd want us to discuss in this kind of manner. Like, we have these like open minds to be able to say like, oh, never heard about that before, never read about that before, but let me dive into this to try to see if I can give you my perspective from a different, a different world, a different upbringing, or whatever it is. So, bring in those stuff to the Discord, because we'll talk about it.
Yeah, and thank you guys for sharing your experiences with us as well. Like, there have been some really, really amazing people talking about what they've gone through and stuff in the chat, and it happens when I'm, like, doing game streaming. It happens when I'm just talking with you guys, like, or just chatting and listening to music. I appreciate you guys very much because... and I know I can speak for Lee on this, and for anybody else who's been on the show, the fact that you are trusting of us to give any sort of perspective on what you're going through or what you're contributing means a fuckload, because you've passed the barrier of just engaging in discussion. You are now fueling the discussion. You are contributing experience to the pool that we are like sharing amongst ourselves. So I fucking thank you guys for that.
So sick, right? You guys are great. You guys are like super sweet people.
Chief Hong Kong, I'm reposting your quote so I can read it again. So you know what really fucks with me? That episode of Family Guy where Stewie and Brian go into an alternate timeline where religion never existed and it's super futuristic. Interesting.
Okay, here it is. It's gonna be right here because that potentially could unlock a big old conversation. But I agree with that because, like, in a sense, like, a lot of scientific data counters
stem
a lot
cells.
of yeah, exactly.
That's like a perfect example. We can't make ghost organs right now because of some fucking stupid bullshit bill that passed because people don't understand what ghost organs are.
Yeah, and it's like until religion gets out of politics and all like 100% in that sense, but. Then we can kind of open the doors to like really any scientific study, any sort of like thoughts like that, because that is what is holding a lot of that back.
Yeah,
is like, no, you can't study this because we already know what defines the world around us, and that is God and religion.
Right.
And you're trying to change that.
In God we trust, bro.
So yeah, I obviously they take it into such an extreme, hilarious direction, but like in a way, I do believe.
Please
that. Vote. Like, vote for... If we get a fucking scientist in the White House, woo! That'd be next level.
Yeah.
But it's like that, yeah, and we're not going to talk politics
Neil deGrasse Tyson for president, dudes! Brian Cox for president, dudes!
One day, man. But it's like, that's the kind of stuff that we always, like, we wish could happen. But, vote. Vote local.
Please vote.
Vote in the elections. Vote your local elections.
Urbanoid says, I've watched a lot of this channel, and this was by far my favorite thing you have done. Same wavelength.
Urbanoid, you're the best, dude.
Thanks.
Everybody, no, true, everybody, Meg, who else? Joe Bash, like
Schmo Gaming.
Like,
this
you
is
guys have all,
how
like,
I imagine.
Chief Honk Honk.
I borrowed this from my, Slippery Stairs.
Slippery Stairs.
Yeah, I'm Slippery Stairs. Yeah. She, because of Slippery Stairs, Christina says level up like he does. Like, she mimics him. Or goes, level up! Level up!
I love it. It's great.
I'm gonna record that. It's gonna be a notification, guys.
But everybody that's like contributed to tonight's conversation and like giving us positive vibes, like, you guys are sweet babies, and like hang out with us, every week.
Yep.
Like, obviously the Discord is a big thing. Internet exists, social media exists, so like, let's fucking put it to use.
Fucking
you know what I mean?
Any final questions before we raid somebody?
Yeah, questions, concerns, feedback. Now's the time. The door is open.
Yeah.
Thank you for the shout out, Joe Bash. You are a sweet baby. Because my fucking Twitch handle is stupid right now. But
Yeah,
so.
I feel kind of the same way, Duck Norris, about Bill Nye.
Chief, like, I like to talk to people and articulate the shit in my head so gracefully expanded. Dude, respect, appreciate that. We just try to, like,
that makes me feel good, bro.
That's an element of the hive mind where we think alike, but all it takes is discussing it, living it, believing in it, being passionate about it, and then, like, oh man.
Well, honestly, like, what happens is we just have all these ingredients, right? And then the show and what we talk about gives us context to say these things.
Yeah.
And a lot of it comes from
therapy,
you guys.
bro.
Yeah, it's therapeutic. Yeah.
Therapeutic. Duck, like, I get what you're saying. Bill Nye and Neil deGrasse Tyson, like, they're doing their best to try to make science cool still. and I understand they're still doing that kind of like nerd teacher trying to be too cool thing, and I get it. I still love them both. I think they're both incredible people, but like your David Attenboroughs, your fucking Brian Coxes, your Michio Kaku's, like these kind of guys, like that would be next level. These are inspiring human beings to say the least. What happened to Bill Nye? He did his new Bill Nye the Science Guy show, and it was like trying to be really hip, and there was a couple points that was funny. Tyler the Creator did like his theme song and stuff like that, which was so fucking rad. But
true that.
I just think they need to like get back to just like discovery science and then inspiring documentaries and just like educating the fucking planet. I shook Bill Nye's left hand. Did I tell you that?
Nice.
Yeah, it was at a book signing.
Have you washed it?
He was signing with his right hand, and then had no choice but to shake with his left. And I shook his hand, and it was the best moment of my life. Bill Nye saves the world. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It did feel like pandering to me.
I mean, it was like pandering, but it also was bold, which I enjoyed.
Like a Dorito chip.
Oh yeah, dude. I had a bag of those fucking jacked Doritos.
What?
They're like thick Doritos.
Like THICC?
Well, yes. Both.
It'd be funny if they were like
They're
themed
crunchy
after like
as fuck.
butts and stuff. They are?
Oh yeah.
They're
They're
crunchy as
literally
fuck?
like they're like thick Doritos. Yeah,
That sounds
great.
that
Oh,
sounds
man.
supple.
I'm so hungry.
Dude, you want to grab a burger after this?
I wish. I got some food at home.
Okay.
Got some leftovers I gotta eat before it goes bad.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
sorry, bruv. You know I would eat a burger any day with you.
You guys, we're gonna raid one of my favorite people. You know him as Bobo Chet. I fucking love this guy, man.
Didn't
welcome
want
to the
new
Fellowship
show
of the
because
Memes.
I was so scared of it being great. I still kept on my channel sense here. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Watch it anyway. I mean, it's still like informational.
We just talked about broadening your perspective and understanding new things. You
Yeah,
may still
man.
like the show.
Don't
Don't be afraid about it.
I always will love the original Bill Nye, and it will always be there to watch.
Yeah.
So keep doing it. Keep watching. All right?
You guys, the raid message.
Oh, yes. Real quick. Sorry. Before we raid.
Yes.
Tomorrow, we will be at C2E2, Chicago
Oh,
Comic
yeah. Who's
and
going to be there?
Entertainment Expo. I know
Chief is
Chief's
going to be there.
Chief, come say hi. Don't kiss us on the cheek.
I think
Give us a hug,
Yeba's going to
give us
be
a
there,
squeeze.
but she's sick, and I don't want to... I'll be like, hi, but I'm not going to like...
Yeah.
Yeba, if you're here, I don't know who's here because I don't have the list up. But Yeba, if you're here, I'm not going to
C2E2,
hug
bro.
you. I will say hello.
C2E2, we'll be together. I'm going to wear a red Star Wars shirt so you'll find me.
That's a good
please.
idea. I need to wear
Yeah.
a bright shirt tomorrow.
I'm wearing a red bright. My shirt's going to be so sick, dude. It's my red Star Wars shirt. I just got it. I don't know if I showed you this.
No.
Big ass picture of fucking Porkins from Star Wars. And it just says Star Wars.
Oh,
under it.
Porkins. Yeah, I know who that is.
Big old Porkins. Oh my god, it's
Big
so
old
great.
Porkins.
So I'll be wearing that, so we'll be hanging out tomorrow.
Help me, I'm poor.
We're gonna get our pastries. We're gonna get our CBD coffees.
Fuck
We're
yeah.
gonna spend the day being nerds.
Fuck yeah, dude! You guys can catch us every week on the XP Talk Show. I have highlighted all the stuff on the collections tab here. If you guys want to watch anything in the past, I'll be talking to some of you guys in chat.
Go back to the clipped clip.
Oh yeah, should
Let's
we watch that
right
first?
quick, yeah.
Okay. I don't have the multi
That's fine.
things split up.
We could
I'm just gonna turn the volume up all the way.
all the way in the headphones. So,
Yeah.
But while he gets that set up, because I want to see this little funny clip. But
Do I
we're
have
gonna
the internet? Yeah, I do.
we're going to.
Oh!
Oh, hi.
Oh wow!
That's kind of funny. We are gonna pass this raid off to a good boy.
To Bobo Chet.
But truthfully, like again, just to reiterate, you guys are fun. You guys are exciting. You guys are amazing.
Oh, you guys were
adventurous.
clipping me yesterday? What the fuck? All
You
right.
dicks. Oh, it's a 21-minute clip.
No, it's not.
Hashtag. Oh yeah, here you go. Hashtag fucking live life, dude. Hashtag fucking donate bits to me, dude, because I'm fucking giving you some inspirational shit. We talk about that too.
Hashtag I'm a memer.
Hashtag I recut things.
Fuck.
You're really good at this scene change thing.
I didn't set up the Zoom.
Hashtag profound streamer. Yes, that's it.
Hashtag profound streamer. Hashtag
Hashtag fucking.
when you fall down, you get back up.
Life goals. Fucking squat up. Fuck you. Oh, holy shit.
You guys fucking rock.
Man, you guys are the bestie best.
You guys, this is where we're gonna go here, all right?
We'll see you guys maybe tomorrow at C2E2. Next week, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Right here, right now. Well, right here next week.
This is who we're raiding. Look at this handsome boy, Prince of all Puerto Ricans.
I love it.
You guys know him. You guys love him. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. If you guys want to, hang out, please hit me up in those DMs.
Kisses to everybody.
I love you. I'll see you soon.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Till next time.
Lee. Wait, oops.
Till next time on the Exp Talk Show podcast, Pod Show, Talk Show.